Let me tell you how a 5-minute delay cost one of the biggest fitness brands in the world a customer for 5 years. When I first started hitting the gym myself, I wanted to buy some protein powder for the first time, and I wanted to go with Chris Bumstead's brand, Raw. I was already a huge fan, I trusted the company, and was pre-invested in the brand already. But I had a few questions about the different protein powders types like the casein, isolate, etc., and what the prices are. So I sent the support team an email alongside other competitors like Bulk and MyProtein. Bulk was the first to get back to me. They answered my question almost instantly and linked the email with a 15% discount code as the call to action. That was 5 years ago. And I'm still buying from them. Raw lost my business because they weren't fast enough. In e-commerce, speed isn't just nice to have, it's your biggest sales tool essentially. Today, I'm going to show you how to use n8n and Supabase to ensure your brand never loses a lifelong customer to a slow reply ever again. So this is the automation right here, and I really want to iterate this. I was ready to give my money to a brand I already loved, Chris Bumstead's Raw supplements. But when I had a question, they were silent. The competitors, Bulk, replied to me in minutes. And 5 years later, I kid you not, I must have spent thousands of dollars with Bulk, all because of one fast reply. Most e-commerce owners don't realize that a slow support desk is actually a leaky bucket in the marketing budget. You're paying for this lead, but your slow response is giving that lead to your competitors, which is exactly what automation nullifies. To break it down, we start off right here with a Gmail trigger. Now, what a trigger means, it just means the step that starts the automation. So whenever someone sends an email to this address, so it could be your own support email, the automation will start. It will then use a edit fields tool, which basically takes the fields and extracts the ones you need. So in this situation, all I need is the text of the email, the from address, so I can reply to it, and its subject, so the email title will be re-subject. And then we use this text classifier tool, which basically separates the email, whether it's an actual customer support email or if it's like a promotional email of someone trying to sell you a service. If it's a support email, it'll then go through this step right here, the AI agent. If it's a promotional, it'll just stay in the inbox for you to deal with later since it's less urgent. And what it does, we have this AI agent that gets information from the Supabase vector store. Now Supabase, let me just open it up right here, is essentially just a platform that stores your data in rows so the automation can work with. So in this instance, the data I've stored is a bunch of support details, inquiries, or other things that the customer support team should have in mind when applying information, that all stored inside this table. There we go. So you have the operation procedures, the steps for a specific process, etc. All of it is stored in here. And then this AI agent that operates with ChatGPT, it will create a Gmail draft in your inbox. So it doesn't send this automatically. There's a human in the loop approach. So a human will look at it. And this is useful because, again, if you work with an e-commerce company, I'm sure you yourself know this, is that a lot of the time, the inquiries you get are 90% the same. It's like, hey, do you ship to this country? Hey, what are your return policies? You know, the same questions over and over again. And it then sends a Telegram alert that an inquiry came in, so your team knows about it immediately. Now for this, you can use Telegram, you can use Slack, you can use Discord, whatever you want. I just happen to use Telegram. Also, I want to go back to this AI agent to let you know this information is always based on a prompt. What that means is because the biggest mistake you make with AI is asking it to guess. A generic AI agent hallucinates order numbers and even lies to your customers if you're not careful. But by linking n8n to the Supabase vector store, you then make sure the AI tool is not guessing, it's retrieving data. That's the main difference between an AI toy and an AI tool. Plus, if I go right here on system prompt, we've actually set parameters for the AI agents, such as rules it must always follow, extra information to keep in mind, the tool it has access to, and within the rules section, we said always draft an email with an answer, make the email concise and a medium length, always use vector store before answering and drafting any emails. So it won't pull information from its own language model, but rather it will only give information from this database that you provided, which is super useful when building automations. Now, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you how you can build this. Ooh, did I click on? I'm gonna show you how you can build this yourself right now. Right here, n8n, new workflow. This. Start off here, like I mentioned previously, with the trigger, which is gonna be Gmail. So whenever a support email comes in to this support address, link my personal one here. Now to test this, I'm gonna go, why did I Google Gmail? I don't know, bad habits. But I'm gonna write an email to a support email, which is this one. It's the one I use for testing, big Batman fan. And let's put question about returns. And press send. So now, once I go here, I'm gonna press fetch test events, and it should, let me show the email arrived first. So Gmail, refresh, boom, there we go, arrived. So fetch event, and right there, hi there, blah blah blah, original condition, best Steven. So we got that came through. I'm gonna pin it just so I don't have to rerun the automation, always have something to test with. After this arrives, you want to classify the information. To classify it, to edit it, getting ahead of myself, we need to edit information. Basically, all that means is when we move these steps here to the automation, toward the next steps onwards and onwards, I don't need all of this. All I need is just 3 sections, which first one is going to be this one here, the snippet. And for this, you have 2 options. You can manually write the JSON. So it'll be JSON.snippet like that. Or alternatively, you can just literally drag it here, which is one of the main benefits of using n8n, because it's a no-code platform. You don't need to know code like I do. You can just drag things directly. And let's tool that email body. Next field is going to be the email from. So this way, we know what the return email is when you draft this email to reply to it. Oh, whoops. Get rid of that. And let's grab from into here. There we go, perfect. Fix that, email body. And lastly, we need the subject. So when we reply to it, I can put re-subject instead of try and try that myself. So let's go value subject, and that's to be subject. And with this as well, the reason why we drag these fields and don't type the email body manually or copy and paste it from here is because this is an automation. If I manually put in each text by myself, I'd have to do that for every single email. But now, what that does, it takes these variables from any incoming email, the body from that email, the address from that email, and automates it into that process. And execute step, and right here, we got 3 fields instead of 200. And next up, we gotta classify them. So what classifying means, it just categorizes the emails to separate steps of the workflow. So right now, see here, so I'm gonna zoom in slightly, how on the Gmail trigger, there's arrow coming in from the edit fields, but on the text classifier, there's none. However, if I go here, so text classify, that'll be the email body. If I put in, for example here, promotion, bless me, a new line came in, called promotion. And now, if I do a new category and I do customer support, another one comes in. Reason being, if that email comes in, gets categorized as a promotional email, it won't draft a response for it. The email will still be there, it won't be deleted. However, there's no urgency to reply to it. It just stays there and your team can deal with it when you get a chance to. So probably just like a sales pitch or whatever. Then text classifier, go here, give it a brief description. So it'll be sales, pitches, marketing. Actually, I have marketing off. I have a bad idea. I just copy and paste it from here. Basically, all you want is just a brief description for the tool to know what that email is. So For promotion, it'll be offers, discounts, services, collaboration, sales pitches. Customer support, again, just a description of what your customer support includes. So customer question, complaints, inquiries, interests, etc. So right there. Lastly, what you want to do, you want to add a system prompt template. Now, the default one is perfect. Leave that as it is. Don't change it. It's because for this sort of automation, that's all you need. You just want to give it the tool instructions, which is classify the text provided by the user into the following categories, and use provided formatting instructions below. Don't explain and only output the JSON, because the JSON is the thing we use for the automation. And then enable auto fixing. Put that on, so any errors, it'll fix by itself. And lastly, the model. So for the model, I like to use OpenAI because the way it classifies things, it uses ChatGPT's language model. So the brain behind classification, it thinks, it goes, is this marketing or is this promotion? And then categorize it. It's not editing the information at all. It's just the thinking tool. That's it. And for promotion, that stays blank. Nothing goes past this point. And if I go here, let's test this, execute step. Boom, 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 it's extracting, perfect. We got log branch, let's go here, let's go output. We got the email body, we got the subject, and we got the from. The 3 bits we need to deal with that email. And now I'm gonna add 2 steps to the customer support section. The first one is gonna be the AI agent that drafts the email in the first place. So let's put, just right there, AI agent. And kind of chat trigger nodes, what I want to do is there's no chat trigger. So what that means, sometimes you can build your own chatbot for like customer support, for dealing with SOPs. However, for this, it's gonna be defined below. So email came in from can I make that full screen? Yes, I can. Email body. Put that right there. And you can see here in this section, email came in from Mustafa Premium, blah, blah, blah. Ooh. I thought my recording stopped for a second there. Email came in from, as well as the email body that the information contains. So that's what the AI tool is going to see instead of just this every single time an email comes in. Close that. Now for this, leave that unticked. This, you find below where you've done that. You can enable a fallback method. That means if for whatever reason ChatGPT shuts down, it's not working, you can add a fallback method like Gemini or Claude that is going to go through whenever the ChatGPT isn't working. That's optional. It's up to you whether you want to spend money having a fallback method. It does cost a bit more because even this does cost you some money. Let me show you what I mean in a second. So if I go to OpenAI billing, you can see if I go to credits, it does take some of my credits every single time I run this automation right here. Now, the cost of this automation is actually pennies. In fact, it's less than pennies. I believe it takes about 1/5 of a cent per run. For example, when I started testing this specific automation, I put in $5. That's the bare minimum plus you top up. And I ran this, I lost count how many times, maybe 10, 15, 20. And so far, it only took like 4 cents. So there you go. It's really cheap. In my opinion, it's totally worth it. But just keep that in mind, it does cost some money. And if you do a fallback method, if you use Gemini or Claude, you also need to pay for that resource. Now, it will only pay for it if that backup gets used. So maybe it is worth having. But just keep that in mind when you're managing your cost and your business expenses. And yeah, last thing I add is a system message. So a system message is essentially the message we give to the AI agent. It's the prompt that you would give to ChatGPT or Gemini that it works with. And you start off with a persona, as well as context, the tools the agent can use, and the restrictions, which are super important. If I go here, the one I've built for this one, if I go right here, the persona is the identity. It's something I learned from Google's AI automation course I've done a few months back. It says here, your helpful assistant answers any inquiries or for our e-commerce store called Kaiser Apparel. Context for the task. You're drafting email replies for the incoming inquiries that come through. Your tone should be polite, professional, compassionate towards any complaints or issues, but remaining firm in the rules and policies. Tools, vector store tool, email drafting tool. So I'll give them what the tools are and describe them. And these hashtags right here are called markdown tags. You know how in a Word document you have heading 1, heading 2, all that stuff? One hashtag with a space, it categorizes to the AI that this is heading number 1, as in the massive text. Then heading 2, heading 3. It just makes the information more clear and concise, so the AI tool reads it easier, because the better instruction you give to the tool, the more accurate and better your results will be. And then the most important part here is the rules. So these are the constraints and policies you enforce on the AI. So it says here, always use vector store before answering and drafting any emails. That's really important. Always draft an email with an answer. So don't just draft it for shits and giggles. Make an email concise and medium length. Maybe because with these AI can talk forever. Maybe you've done this before. You would ask ChatGPT a simple question like, why is this grass green? And you do like a 10-page essay. Like, bro, simple question would have been fine. The simple answer would have been fine. So yeah, I'm gonna copy and paste this to make life easier. It'll be in the description down below as well if you want to copy it. And if I go here, Shift V, that's the system instruction. And everything else can still the same. Now I'm not gonna execute it, it's not gonna work yet because there's no tools connected. So first things first, we want to connect the chat model. So again, I'm gonna use OpenAI. Account connected, again, simple login from list. So I use 4.1 mini, that's fine, that'll get the job done. So the higher models like the 5.0s, they cost more money, so keep that in mind. But for drafting emails, 4.1 is more than efficient. 5.2 is more like if you're in automation to build codes or building a vibe coding platform or anything like that. Then this can do the same. Yeah, that's fine, leave that as it is. Memory, leave that blank. So you can add a memory. The way the memory is, just so you know, basically when you talk with an AI, you send a message to it asking a question, that's 1. It replies, that's 2 memory. You reply to it again with a follow-up question, 3 memory, 4 and 5, etc. So it's how much it remembers. I'm building an AI agent that's interactive, then yeah, you should have memory. But for this, you're just wasting tokens, so let's get rid of that. Tools. So the first tool, like you mentioned, is Gmail. We're gonna draft emails. So Gmail account, same one from before that we connected, set automatically. Resource, that's gonna be draft, change that. Operations, you are creating, that's correct, you're creating a draft. Subject is gonna be re, and get the subject from this. Message. Now, you press here, let the model, ChatGPT, the agent, define it. So we're gonna press, there we go, right there. And to email. The to email is gonna be the from, right there. Perfect, so got that, put it here, perfect. And beautiful, leave everything the same. Settings, yeah, nothing be no need 5 notes. Also, add options. Attachment from alias and apply to ID. That's fine, leave as it is. Close that. And the next one is the one that's slightly complicated to incorporate, which is the vector-based store. And that's just out of the way. And if I type super base vector store. So with this, if I learn how to set it up, there'll be a pop-up right now with a video on how to build your own RAG agent and how to set up your own vector store. That'll walk you through the whole process. I'm going to watch that if you want to learn it. I'll show you briefly how to do it, but if you want to see it in full detail, watch that instead. So your vector-based store is basically a database that stores information. So if I go out from here to my home page, RAG agent, table editor, the information is here. So, for example, things like standard operating procedures, blah, blah, blah. And the way you build this is you go to project overview. So once you log in, there'll be a dashboard. You go on the dashboard and you click new project, build your project, and then you want to connect it. So if I go here, there'll be a host and a secret role secret, a service role secret. The host is basically this link right here, next to your RAG agent, and your secret, your project settings, you go to API keys, it'll be right there. It'll be at the very, very bottom. And in terms of this information, the way it pulls it in right here is I have this other automation built. I show it to you. Let's go out of here, which again, for the builder, video is right there, where whenever a PDF is uploaded into the specific Google Drive folder, this is the one I'm using for this video, it will automatically run, download the information, embed it into this database, in this vector store, and then I can even have a chat agent to ask about what the policies are, which is useful for the staff or new employees to know, like, okay, if I have a quick question and you want to ask a manager, just ask this, because it has information of pretty much everything inside this database. All I have to do is go up and message it. Alternatively, I can message this link right here directly and link it to WhatsApp, Telegram, or whatever. And once you've connected that, connect it. Retrieval mode, we retrieve documents in this scenario. That one we were uploading. This one we are retrieving. List, let's go documents. Go with the plain name one, not the RPC/match one. Limit for that it is, don't worry about that. Include metadata. Basically, it's how many vector base it pulls at a time. Actually, if we leave that as 0, in case someone has a big email. Change. Actually, I'm also going to change this to 4. I don't think I can leave that blank, actually, now that I think about it. Limit. Yeah, I put 5, why not? Put 5. Perfect. Go back, go here, and now, fingers crossed, should be working. I go right here, sending through here, going through here, scanning the vector-based store, embedding information. Just go back to ChatGPT, going, okay, I got information, I'm gonna go back to the AI agent, and I'm gonna draft that email. And it's all done. And now, if I go here, and I go to drafts, read question what returns. So, it drafted the email for me. It said, Dear Steven, thank you for reaching out by Kaiser Apparel. Happy to provide you deals return policy. Customer consider eligible items within 30 days of delivery. To be eligible for a return, item must be unworn, unwashed, with tags attached. And if I go to my vector store, well, the information the vector store came from right here, and I look for returns. So if I go to return policy, it says content, customer can return eligible items within 30 days of delivery. Item must be unworn, unwashed, with tags attached. And if I go right here, back to this email, customer eligible return, blah, 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 return, unworn, unwashed, with tags attached. And basically, all information that it gives to the customer is purely from the vector store base. It's not going to pull information from this language model aside from the stuff that on how to draft email. That's it. Because we put restrictions and very strict rules on it. And with this as well, you can actually even add a call to action to it. We can program that in. And example, also for inquiring the 10% code for your next purchase, you know, to kind of opt them into making a decision. So you can do with this actually. And again, it's not even auto sending, it's just drafting it, so your team can look at it, have a human in the touch approach, just can look into it. Yeah, looks good, send. Because with these companies, it's a lot of the times these inquiries you get from customer support are the exact same. Because the thing you have to realize, with most customer support roles, they are soul crushing because they are 90% data entry and only 10% actually helping people. When you automate the data retrieval process, you flip that script. You're not just saving time, you're freeing your employees' headspace, they're getting less brain fog, and they actually use the energy to brainstorm for high-level problem solving and brand building, instead of just copy and pasting the same information from email to email. And this is exactly what we do with this automation. And if you're a business owner doing 50K a month or more in revenue and you want to automate your processes and your business internally, then there'll be a link in the description for a free discovery call. Press that and we can chat and see how potentially I can help your business run these processes. Thank you for your time and attention. It's a valuable resource. Thank you for giving it to me. I shall see you in the next video. Take care.